Hi, my name's Allison Weaver and you're here at the James Island Rec Center to do our virtual parent camp orientation this summer. So camp's going to run a little differently this summer based on all of the city officials and regulations that we are going to have. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is our sign in and sign out procedures and how that's going to work this year. We are standing out front of the lobby doors, and if you turn around you can see our horseshoe that comes into the facility. This is where we're going to be doing sign in and sign out. So this summer parents are going to drive up and stop right in front of the rec center. They will be met by a staff member or myself where we will ask you a variety of questions on whether or not you have been exposed to anyone that's been sick in recent days. We will then ask your child to exit their vehicle. Once the child exits the vehicle, we will immediately take their temperature with a thermal imaging thermometer. And if their temperature reads 100.4 or less, they will be allowed to enter camp. If their temperature is higher than that, they will have to get back into the vehicle and drive away with you and will not be allowed to enter camp on that day. Once their temperature is taken, we will walk them up the steps, where we will immediately sanitize their hands with hand sanitizer before they enter the building. Once they have sanitized their hands, they will enter the building and be led to their specific room that they will be doing camp in. So we will separate the gym into 4 quadrants, and we will also have a camp grouping in our multi-purpose room. So if you'll follow me, one of our groups will be located in the multi-purpose room. We have made sure to have the children separated while in this room with their specific group. The group will stay together all day. They will stay with their counselor all day and rotate through our camp sections. Each camper will have a basket in which they can put their backpack, lunchbox, and any other personal belongings they might have. Then we will ask them to sit in a hula hoop and wait till we have finished the check-in of all the campers, and we begin our camp programming at 9 a.m. At 9 a.m., the campers will rotate through indoor games, outdoor games, field games, arts and crafts, science experiments, just like they would during a regular daily schedule. Our other areas that we'll be holding camp this year are very similar. We will have 4 groups located in our gymnasium, and they will be separated by the curtain and have their own individual quadrants. In the back of the gym, I have an example set up of how the gym quadrants will look. Once again, there are hula hoops on the floor for each individual camper, and those hula hoops are currently set at 6 feet apart. On the back wall, I also have our baskets with the campers' names over them so that they will know which basket is theirs and where their stuff belongs. Again, the child will enter camp, head to his or her basket, put their belongings down, and then take a seat in the hula hoop so we can get everyone checked in and ready to go. All right. When we're doing drop-off and check-in, one of the most important things to have is an approved pickup list. We will send this to you electronically via email, and we are asking you to fill it out. So when your child is getting picked up from camp or dropped off, we know who is going to be doing that. We, at pickup time, will actually require you to show a driver's license to make sure that the person that is picking up your child is on the list that you have set. Going into our procedures, we will now have drop-off time between 8:30 and 9 a.m. We will not be having any campers enter the building prior to 8:30 a.m. Please make sure you note that. Pickup time will be between 5 and 5:30 p.m. If you need to drop off later than 9 a.m. or pick up earlier than the 5 to 5:30 p.m., you will need to call the facility at 843-795-5678 to let one of our staff members know. So we will be outside to go through the same procedures that we just showed you on this video. Other than that, our camp will look relatively similar to how it has been in previous years. Other than dividing into small groups, we will continue to do the same activities that we always offer. So we will do our drop off and we will have the camp set up in their hula hoops. Once we do that, they will break into their various activities. Groups will never come into contact with one another, and we are allowing that every time we complete one of our stations, that whatever equipment is used will be immediately sanitized and sit for 15 minutes before the next group goes to that particular station. Some of the things that we'll be doing this year is setting up groups and camps on different baseball fields so that they keep their separation and distance. And we will also have them do all of their arts and crafts and science experiments in their particular areas of the gym or the multi-purpose room. The counselors will have all of the equipment that they need in their particular area so that they will be able to stay with their camp. We are lucky enough this year that all of our camp staff is returning and have either been a counselor previously or have worked for me as in a part-time or full-time capacity in the past. So most of our campers will actually recognize and enjoy seeing the familiar faces of our camp staff this year. One big thing we're doing this year, as with other years, is that we have our behavioral management policy in place. This is becoming more important this year than ever as we are asking children to socially distance themselves and make sure that they are following the protocols that the city has set forth for us to hold camp this year. We are making sure that we are doing behavior adjustments, but we'll also still follow our policy that we have had set forth before in our warning system. The first offense will be a verbal warning and talking with the camper about their behavior and how we need to have it managed. The second offense of the same behavior, we will have a camper sit out of the activity we are doing for a minimum of 5 minutes. The third offense will be a cool down or timeout and a written explanation to the parents. It is our goal to have as much of open communication with our parents as we need to. Some behaviors that will not be tolerated at camp will be the use of profane words, any touching of other campers and counselors in any way or their belongings, any form of violence, disrespectful behavior in camp or towards another person, stealing, disrespecting facility or camp supplies, and ignoring the counselors and or staff directions for social distancing and keeping their hands to themselves. We want to make sure that your camper is safe and having the best experience that they possibly can at our camp this summer, but we do have really strict guidelines in place to make sure that that can happen. Staff will verbally communicate with parents as frequently and as necessary as possible. Information such as injuries or discipline will be discussed during pickup time. We will also be distributing session newsletters and calendars so parents can be aware of what we will be doing on a weekly basis during our sessions. This year, all of that information will be sent out electronically via email, so please make sure that we have your active email address on file so you are receiving any communication that we may send out about camp. Should a parent have a concern about camp or something that is going on in camp, we are asking that you first communicate with our unit leaders and camp directors, and you can reach them at the facility phone number, that is 843-795-5678. If you don't feel comfortable with reaching out to the camp director, you can always call and ask for Allison Weaver at that number as well. I will be here throughout the day while we are running camp all summer long. Prior to the start of camp, we are asking that all parents make sure that all of their medical information and contact numbers are correct. We want to make sure that if we need to reach out to you in any way possible, that we have a valid phone number and email address, and that our system is updated. We are asking you to make sure that this is done online with your Rec Trek household, or again, you can call the facility, double check what information we have, and we will make sure that we have everything correct and updated in our system. If there's anything medical that we need to know about your child, whether they're taking any medications that need to be distributed during camp, we also need you to provide us with that information. If your child has any special needs or anything that we need to know in particular in that area, you can email me at weavera@charleston-sc.gov or call the facility to contact me. We are asking that campers this year do not bring a lot of personal belongings into camp. In previous years, we have had campers bring pillows, blankets, stuffed animals, and all of that wonderful stuff that they want to show off to their friends. Because we are trying to limit the number of outside entities entering the building, we really want to limit what they're bringing into camp and what they can store in their bin that does not have a lot of space for excess materials. We want to limit these items to a lunch and snacks, water bottle, change of clothes, aerosol sunscreen or bug spray, and a book. One of the things we will be doing this summer is that we are going to encourage reading time as one of our stations. So please make sure that your camper is bringing a book daily, or even a coloring book if that's something they would like to do on their individual time. We are asking again, as we do every summer, that electronics of any kind are left at home. We do not want to see cell phones, iPads, gaming systems, anything like that. If a camper is found with one of these items, the camp staff will confiscate it and put it in a plastic bag and give it back to the parents at the end of the day, asking them to make sure their child does not bring it back. We will not be responsible for any lost or stolen items. We will also not have a lost and found this year. Any items that are left at the end of the camp day will be disposed of. Obviously, no fireworks, guns, knives of any kind. We do not allow gum in our gym. We are still trying to keep this new floor nice and clean. So please no gum of any kind. And as with previous years, please no Pokemon or trading cards. Those often create a rift with campers, and we want to try to avoid that as much as possible. For lunch options, again, we will have lunch and canteen options available for your camper. However, they will look different than previous years, as the only items that we can distribute are prepackaged. So this means that we will not be able to do our personal pizzas, our chicken nuggets, or our hot dogs as we have in previous summers. We are currently trying to come up with a list of prepackaged items that we can distribute to campers if they do not have a lunch. If at all possible, please make sure that you are packing a lunch for your child every day. We will go back to the water bottle. We will not have water fountains open for camp use this year. If they need to refill their water bottle, we will have a station set up that a counselor can do that. But it is very imperative that your child brings his or her own water bottle every day to camp. And please make sure they leave with it every day at camp. As I mentioned, lost and found items will not be kept at the end of the day. We are taking various cleaning precautions here with the City of Charleston this year. Again, your child's safety and our staff's safety is our #1 priority while we're running camp. We will be making sure that anything used during camp will be disinfected and sit for at least 10 to 15 minutes to properly sanitize before it will be used by another group. We will be rotating lunch times this year, as we can only sit 3 people at each lunch table based on social distancing guidelines. So we will break the groups into 6 or 8 campers. That's who they will rotate with throughout the day. That is who they will have lunch with throughout the day. That is who will stay with the one counselor every day. Each group will be designated 2 lunch tables during lunchtime. They will sit 6 feet apart, having 1 camper on one side of the table and 2 campers on the opposite side of the table. We have made sure to mark out any tables, as well as bleacher space if we decide to use the bleachers. Due to the restrictions we will have at camp and doing prepackaged items, we will not be having ice cream days or pizza days as we have in the past. I know that was a special treat for campers and that we will miss it this summer. Again, we're just trying to take all safety precautions to make sure that your campers are staying safe while they are attending our camp this year. We will not be having any field trips or in-house presenters at camp this year as well. So please note that when sending your children. Lastly, we have our parent agreement that we always have at the beginning of every summer. Because we will not be meeting in person at our parent orientation this year, I will make sure to send that out to you via email. It can either be mailed, dropped off, or emailed back to me at the James Island Rec Center. If you have any questions about camp this summer, please feel free to email me or call me so I can answer any questions that you have. Now, as we exit camp for the day and you come to pick your children up, we will have the same procedure for drop-off. We will take your child out of the gym and we will walk them to the front. All right, you will go and pick up your child at the same place that you dropped him out this year. So we will walk your child out the opposite exit of the door. We will walk up to your name, ask you your name and the name of your camper. We will check your ID to make sure you are on the approved pickup list. Then we will go walkie-talkie one of our fellow employees to send your child or walk your child out to us so we can have them enter your car. I know that this is a little different than what we have done in previous summers. We are still so excited to have your kids with us this year and provide them with the best camp experience that we possibly can. Thank you for joining me on this parent orientation video, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.